These shoes right here will make you a better shooter on the court and maybe off the court as well. Yo guys, what is good? Sakuragi back at it again, and today we have another episode of Toilet Reviews, the series where I put a shoe on a toilet then I review it for all of you guys out there. So for today's episode, we have these guys right here, the Nike Ja 1 in the Family Trivia colorway. So without further ado, let's get straight into the review. This colorway was inspired by a 90s sitcom trivia game the Morant family used to play all the time, and apparently Mama Morant used to dominate at this game. But with the storytelling of this colorway, Nike is trying to show how important family time is to the Morant family. On the shoes, there are some Ja Morant inspired trivia questions on the collar area, as well as on the insoles, which ties to the storytelling of these shoes. Also, I won't be going like super in depth with all the tiny little details that are on the shoe because I already did that with the previous Ja 1 video that I did for the day 1 colorway. If you haven't seen that yet, link will be right up here. So go check that out if you want to see a more in-depth review of these, but I'll still be going over all the basic things about the shoe and everything that it has with it, so stay tuned for that. So let's get started with the materials. And it's the same thing as last time. We have a basic budget-friendly setup with the mesh underlay with synthetic leather overlays and a fuse overlay on the eye stay for durability purposes. So nothing too crazy, but it gets the job done. Also, I was today years old when I found out the reason that the swoosh is not attached to the back of the shoe was actually because it was designed for us to be able to hold the shoes with our fingers when we're headed to the gym. If you guys know me, you know that I just absolutely love little details like that because, like, come on, how many times are we out there just with our shoes, not in a bag or anything, just holding them like, you know, like this, right? So having that sort of like detail on the shoe where the material actually allows you to do that, I mean, I will admit it's not the easiest to get your finger into. Kind of, there we go. But I mean, nonetheless, it's pretty thoughtful and pretty cool. So I definitely mess with that for sure. But now let's talk about the cushioning setup. So like I mentioned in my previous video, it's a guard-oriented setup designed for Ja and his explosive game. So what we have here is a light file on midsole and a top-loaded air zoom unit in the forefoot. And this setup, when I tried it out on court, felt pretty bouncy, and I felt like I had more of a spring to my step when I used it. For a quick second, I tricked myself into thinking that I could probably dunk like Ja, but at most, I just touched the mesh. But it's definitely not my favorite or my preferred setup to use for a basketball shoe, but you know, coming in at 110 USD or 145 Canadian, you can't go wrong with that. I mean, it's probably one of the better cushioning setups for that sort of budget model price point tier. So, I mean, I can't believe I'm saying 145 or 110 US is a budget price point. That's crazy to me. The times have certainly changed. I mean, back in the day, I wasn't paying 110 US or 145 Canadian for a budget model basketball shoe, but hey man, I don't know how the money works. I'm not, yeah. But anyways, let's talk about these outsoles. So beneath all the cushioning, what we have here is a crazy multi-directional pattern here with this like sort of herringbone looks on them, and this stuff grips very well on clean and dirty courts. But on dusty courts, I would recommend just keeping up with your wiping, just because once dust builds up on there, you can slide out, but as long as you wipe it off, you should be good to go. And the traction is probably the best performance aspect of these shoes. So on the topic of traction, I wouldn't really recommend you guys taking these outdoors. I mean, the rubber isn't too soft, but it is kind of pliable, so you can hear that right there. Hopefully the mic is catching it, but yeah, it is pliable, so I don't know exactly how much this will sort of last, or how long rather it will last outdoors. But maybe if you had like the EP version with the XDR outsoles, maybe that would be better. But when it comes to the regular standard versions, I'm just not confident that these will last outdoors for you guys. I mean, while it's still new and fresh, this will definitely be pretty grippy, of course, but I just don't think they'll last that long. Finally, for fit, I went true to size, so I'm a size 10 in all my Nikes, and I went with the size 10 in these guys, and they're just fine, but they do fit pretty snug and narrow, so wide footers might want to go a half size up. But overall, guys, I think this is a pretty fire colorway of the Nike Ja 1. It's definitely not getting as much buzz as the other colorways, but Me personally, I can't wait to rock these on court because the Jaw 1 is a very solid performer. If you haven't seen the performance review I've done for these, link will be up here. So go comment on that video if you have any questions or concerns regarding performance. But if you have any things you want to say about these guys right here, anything you want to say about the Jaw 1, or just anything in general, comment down below on this video and let's talk, guys. I love communicating with all you guys in the comment section, so let's talk. But we're at that point in the video, guys. It's time for hashtag Zacharagi What You Rock. And so for today's video, we have these guys, the Jordan Tatum 1. So if you haven't seen the review I did for these, link is up here. But man, I'm still waiting on my other pair that are coming in to do the performance review. But yeah, once that comes out, I will probably link that up here as well. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. I'm signing out. Peace.